The worst part is not always what they said. It is the pressure you feel to restore yourself immediately after, to answer fast, to clean it up, to prove you are not weak. But the person who controls your timing controls your state. The first move is refusing to respond on their clock. You know this feeling. The comment lands. Maybe it is a joke with teeth. Maybe it is a public correction about status, not truth. Your jaw tightens. Your chest heats up. Your mind starts sprinting for the perfect answer. And suddenly, the insult is not the only thing happening. Now there is urgency. That is the second hit. Not the words. The speed they force into your body. Most people think they lose power when they get disrespected. They usually lose it 1 second later. When they obey the surge, pressure wants speed. That is why fast reaction feels strong in the moment and weak right after. You answer fast. You talk longer. You keep adding detail to repair your image. And by the end of it, something inside you feels smaller, not stronger. So take the first win early. Do not answer with your first pulse. Let one beat pass. Breathe once lower. Make your face slower than your feelings. Not on their clock. The feeling is real. The instruction is optional. Disrespect becomes dangerous when you treat the emotional surge like an order. Your body says, answer now. Fix it now. Show them now. But that message is not wisdom. It is adrenaline-wearing confidence. So the first recovery move is physical. The comment lands. You do not rush to your mouth. You let one beat pass. Your breath drops lower. Your eyes hold steady. Your voice does not leave until your pulse is no longer choosing it. That tiny pause changes the frame, because the room expects emotional access. The quick flinch. The quick defense. The quick proof that they got inside. And when that proof does not arrive, momentum breaks. Silence becomes heavier. You are not frozen there. You are choosing pace. Suppression is panic with a still face. Control is when the body starts settling before the words leave. Let that sit. Think about how most disrespect actually wins. A jab lands. You smile too fast. Then you explain. Then you explain the explanation. Now people are no longer listening to what was said. They are listening to your reachability. That is the humiliation. Not loud, but costly. Because speed reveals something. It tells the room that this person can be moved from the outside. This person can be baited into spending energy to recover what should never have needed proving. Pressure wants speed. So your first job is not to defend your image. It is to protect your pace. Once you understand that, disrespect starts looking different. Not like a command, like data. What just happened? Was that careless? Was it calculated? Was it a test? You cannot read any of that clearly while your nervous system is sprinting. So the pause is not passive. It is information control. This is where the room changes. People are used to emotional vending machines. Insert slight. Receive reaction. Now the machine does not pay out. Sometimes the best first answer is no answer. Not forever. Not as a fantasy of silence. Just long enough to break the expectation of instant access. Because silence is not the whole strategy. Silence is the bridge. The bridge to what? To a response that is chosen instead of leaked. Maybe they throw a line in a meeting. Maybe someone talks over you and waits for you to scramble. Maybe a family member uses that old tone that tries to drag you back into your old role. Your body says, jump in, correct it, show strength. But strength is not always first. Sometimes strength is later. Later, cleaner, more accurate. Not on their clock. And if the moment still needs words, keep them short. Short protects timing. Long explanations donate time. You can say, or, try that again without the tone. Or, we can talk when this is respectful. Those lines do not defend your whole identity. They mark the line without surrendering pace. The boundary stays short. Emotion cools. The next move stays yours. This is where most people leak power. They think the victory is in the perfect comeback. It is not. The victory is that emotion stops driving action. Because once emotion is driving, even a clever line can still be a loss. It may sound sharp, but inside, you are still on their time. That is not calm power. That is polished urgency. The stronger move is smaller. Pause. Body slows. Silence first. Then one clean line only if needed. The feeling is real. The instruction is optional. You can feel the heat and still choose the pace. You can feel embarrassed and still refuse the rush. You can feel the need to repair your image and still decide that image repair is not your job in that second. That is self-command. What most people really want is not to be unbothered. It is to stop paying interest on one disrespectful moment for the next 6 hours, because that is the hidden cost. The moment ends, but your body keeps serving it. You replay the tone in the car. You rewrite the conversation in the shower. You build better answers for an audience that is not even there. This is why a measured pause can feel so strong in public, not because it is dramatic, because it removes predictability. They expected the old timing, the version of you that answered with a tight smile and a paragraph. Now they meet stillness, a slower face, a shorter answer. The room loses momentum. If the disrespect was intentional, that matters. Many people do not push just for content. They push for movement, for visible effect, for proof that they can enter your state. When the effect does not appear, the tactic weakens. Not magical. Just expensive. This matters even more in the chronic version. Not the one big insult. The little pattern. The repeated interruption. The familiar jab. The half smirk before they say your name. The text that comes loaded. The person who keeps testing whether you still react the old way. This is where timing becomes identity. Because if every test can still hurry you, then your emotional pace is still public property. But when your timing becomes chosen, something changes in your whole presence. You stop looking easy to provoke. You stop sounding like someone who needs to restore himself in real time. You stop feeding the moment it deserves more. Delayed consequence. Not because you were too scared to speak. Because you were too disciplined to act while hot. Instant defense feels satisfying. Delayed consequence changes behavior. Maybe you end the conversation early. Maybe you can access cool things after the meeting. Maybe your next reply gets shorter. Maybe access cools. Maybe the next invitation never comes. No speech, no performance, no emotional urgency. Just chosen timing. This is the late lesson. The strongest response is often the one delivered after urgency is gone. After the pulse has dropped. After the need to prove has weakened. After the body is back under your command. After you can see clearly whether the person deserves correction, distance, or nothing at all. That is why Stoic calm is not softness. It is timing discipline. Pressure wants speed. You refuse. The feeling is real. The instruction is optional. Not on their clock. Say those until they stop sounding like advice and start sounding like identity. Because the person you are becoming is not the person with the best comeback. It is the person whose pace cannot be stolen. The person who does not let one rude tone decide the next 10 minutes. The person whose silence is a bridge, not a collapse. The person who chooses consequence only after emotion has released the wheel. That is quiet power. So when the moment comes, remember it in 3 layers. First, protect the pace. Pause before the second sentence. Let the body slow before the mouth moves. Then protect the energy. Use silence first. If words are needed, make them short enough that control stays with you. Then, protect the sequence. Do not decide the whole response while the surge is still hot. Let the consequence arrive later, when it is chosen and clean. That is how disrespect loses its grip. Not because people stop being rude, because they stop deciding your timing. And when they stop deciding your timing, they stop deciding your state. If this hit home, subscribe. We are building a place for people who are tired of giving strangers control over their nervous system. Next time someone tries to rush you into defending yourself, remember this: the comment is theirs. The clock is not.